I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you're able to see the screen. If somebody is joining, please allow them. Okay. So actually today we are officially starting the classes actually. Okay. So yesterday what we discussed, it was all about the introduction, because before we do anything we should understand the basics of any technology and what exactly the technology is about. Correct now. So most of the people know only about cloud. Cloud means, I mean, they were, they didn't had the proper understanding what exactly the cloud means. Correct now. So yesterday you got to know cloud means it is nothing but you have a remote data center hosted by some vendor. Maybe the vendor can be either Microsoft or Google or AWS, Alibaba, or whatever it is. They are the vendor. They have their own data centers at the remote place over the world. Correct na? So what they will help us, they will facilitate us to access the remote data centers using the internet. Correct na? So using the internet you will be accessing their data centers and you will deploy the required services the way you want it. That is called as cloud. Why do we call it as cloud? Because the data center is not nearby for you. It is somewhere 1,000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers away from you. Correct na? But by using the internet facility, you will be connected to the data center and deploy the required services the way you wanted. Correct, right? So today we are going to learn a new technology, or we are going to start learning a new technology called the Microsoft Azure. So when I say Microsoft Azure, it is the Microsoft proprietary solution, okay, or a service called Azure. Azure is nothing but it's a cloud platform of Microsoft. Okay, and in this course, you are going to learn multiple things in the Azure. So when I say Azure, it's a broader term. When I say cloud, it's a broader term. Actually, there are a lot of services are there. Okay, you have desktop as a service, you have infrastructure as a service, you have platform as a service, you have software as a service. Many other things are there. But we, as infrastructure engineers, predominantly learn about the infrastructure part. Okay, means we will be working as a solution architect. We will be working as a Azure administrator. So what I will do, I will consolidate the required resources, the required services, both among uh, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and also little portion on the PaaS also, SaaS also. I'm gonna cover. Okay, so it will be a bundle of all the things. You will be knowing what exactly is IaaS means, PaaS means, SaaS means, and what all services has comes under each and every sections. Okay, so then we can get started. Okay, so as I told you, this is the Microsoft service. Okay, so not only the Microsoft will give you the cloud, we also have multiple vendors in the market who provides you the cloud platform. Correct? Now the cloud providers in the market. So the three major cloud provider in the market are AWS. First one is AWS. AWS is nothing but Amazon Web Services. Second one is Microsoft Azure. Third one is GCP. GCP means Google Cloud Provider. So these three players are the major cloud players in the market. But AWS started in 2006. Though it is started in 2006, it has got the very good market capture. They have captured very good market actually. Close to around 50% of the market has been captured by the AWS since when they started 2006. So AWS is the first cloud provider in the market who started their cloud journey from 2006. But Azure, they came to market in 2010, but as a full fledged they have established the giving services from 2012. Okay, you can consider, even though they are into market 6 years late compared to the AWS, but the rate of growth compared today. So today imagine if 100 users are buying the cloud product, out of 100 around 70 people are going to Microsoft Azure, and remaining 30% for AWS, GCP, Alibaba, and their private clouds. Okay, Salesforce, blah blah blah. Okay, everything will be 30%. So in the future, Azure will be the supermarket for cloud because Azure will give you better flexibility and easy integration and very good offer compared to the cost as well compared to the other technologies. Then let us understand what is the difference between AWS and Azure. Because see, I'm not talking about the Google cloud providers because Google is not at all in the race now. The race is there between the AWS and the Azure. So most of the people you might have heard they will tell I want to do cloud, but I want to do AWS. But if you do AWS, you should know the programming skills because AWS doesn't have the graphical user interface. Even though it has got the graphical user interface, that is not for the full fledged. You don't have full fledged, you cannot do everything whatever you do on the portal. Okay, you cannot do the, I mean, whatever you do in the command prompt, you cannot do everything in the portal, but Azure is not like that. Even though if you don't have any knowledge on the programming, you can work as an Azure engineer because anything and everything can be done on the user interface only. You just log into the portal, portal.azure.com, and you see all the services. You can just do whatever things you can do on the commands. You can also do that in the graphical user interface only, GUI only. Okay, that is the major difference. Okay, the compared to the documentation, okay, the major difference is the documentation. See, AWS started their journey, the cloud journey, from 2006. The documentations compared to Azure, AWS has got very good documentation. And they're already stable and they're already mature because they learned everything from the day-to-day mistakes they learned and they are bettering their services now. Okay, and it's open source compatibility. It means AWS can be, it is open source, lot of open source free resources they will give in the AWS. But Microsoft is not like that. Microsoft, you know, right? The documentation is getting mature now because they started their journey from 2010, but officially 12. Okay, so that their documentation is keep on updating every day. If you go to the Azure portal, Azure documentation, you will see each and every section. Every section will be keep on updating. Today it has got some new information. Tomorrow you may see there will be an additional information or there will be some further deeper information will be given. You see, recently updated date, if you see, it will show like 1 week before, 10 days before, like that. They are keep on, enhancing or improving their documents in the documentation portal. Okay, and the terminologies is the difference. See, basically the template is same, the core is same. Okay, how the AWS works, the same fashion even the Azure also works, but the terminologies is different. Means in the Azure we will call it as VNet. For a virtual network we call it as a VNet. For a network in the cloud we'll call it as a VNet. But in the AWS we'll call it as virtual private cloud, VPC. And for the virtual machine, for the servers in the cloud Azure, we will call it as VM. But in the AWS, we will call it ECC instance, means Elastic Cloud Compute instance. Okay, so EC2 means Elastic Cloud Compute. We'll call in AWS, but in Azure, we'll call it as virtual machine. Okay, so these kind of things will be keep on changing. Okay, but the core is same. And Azure has more regions than AWS. See, Azure has got close to 54 regions globally, and couple of more locations are planned. Okay, there where Microsoft is building their data centers. Yesterday I showed you, right, the Amsterdam data center. Like that, they are planning to have additional data centers globally. Okay, and Azure has got availability zones in each region. Means when I call Bangalore as a availability zone, I mean region, if I call you Bangalore as a region, within Bangalore, Microsoft has put three data centers. One is in Manyata Tech Park, another one is Whitefield, another one is Electronicity. So they call each different physical data center within the Bangalore region as availability zones. Why they will call it as availability zones? If you put an application which is a critical application, which is always, you know financial or commercial related application, maybe a production based application, Imagine if you keep that server in a single data center, which is in Whitefield. For some reason, okay, if the data center get burnt, it got fire or it got submerged, you will lose the entire workloads. So for that, Microsoft has come up with a different option called availability zones. What they will tell, if you want to have 6 digit of SLA, 6 nines of SLA, like 99.9999 percentage of SLA, what you have to do, you have to place application servers in three different availability zones. You build an application called facebook.com, and you call that facebook.com as the load balancer IP, and behind the load balancer you put three servers, three application servers. One is in Hyderabad, sorry, one is in Manyata Tech Park, another one is Electronic City, another one is in Whitefield. If for some reason any of this availability zone or the data center get fire or it get submerged or any kind of DR scenario, disaster scenario, one or two zone went down also, you have another application which is hosted in a different region, the third region. From there you will get the applications. So for your business there is no impact at all. So we call that one as availability zones. Okay, so Microsoft has make sure at least three availability zones in each region. Okay, at least three availability zones in each region. So maximum we have six availability zones in Virginia. Okay, in Virginia we have six availability zones. That is the only region where we have six availability zone. That is the max. But on an average, every region will have only three availability zones. Okay, so now one more region, multiple regions are going on actually. This slide I created about 6 months back. That time it was Hong Kong was there. Okay, I think now it is still in the construction process, the Hong Kong one. Okay, this is the basics of Microsoft Azure. In this slide you understood. Okay, what are you going to learn? You are going to learn the Microsoft Azure technologies. It is a cloud technology. So once you complete this course, you can work as an Azure administrator or Azure infrastructure engineer or Azure solution architect. So like Azure, we have multiple cloud providers in the market. First one is AWS, another one is Azure, third one is GCP, the Google Cloud provider. And AWS is there from 2006 and Azure is there from 2010. Correct, na? So little bit differences between the Azure and the AWS you learned. AWS means the very good documentation is there and it is highly matured. Okay, it is already a stable network. Okay, and it supports open source compatibility. But in the Azure, the documentation is still getting improvised. You know, it is a user friendly. It supports graphical user interface. It will have a PowerShell inbuilt. It will also support Bash. It is a well compatibility with hybrid benefits. Means you have servers in the data center, physical data center. You don't have to buy the additional licenses in the cloud for the existing workload. And Microsoft will tell you, if you migrate a server from the on premises to the cloud platform, I will give you support for 5 years, free support. You don't need to do. Say for example, now my server 2016 is getting sorry 12 is stopped. I mean the support is stopped. So Microsoft will tell you, if you migrate the server 2012 from on premises to cloud, I will give you extended support for 2 years, and within 2 years you can plan for the migration of the application to the latest operating system. So such kind of hybrid benefits and other extended support related things are very good in Microsoft Azure. Okay, and if I come to the regions, Microsoft has got 54 regions in the world. If somebody asks you how many regions are data centers, not data center regions you have in Azure, you just tell 54 regions. There are 54 regions in Microsoft Azure globally. And in India, we have three data centers: Central India, West India, and Central India, West India, and one more region is there. I think that is South India. Okay, so these three regions we have in India as well. See here, yeah. See West India, Central India, and South India. So like I told you, right? Total 54 regions, but India we have three regions. One is West India, Central India, and South India. Okay, so there are three regions in India as well. Imagine how America trusts India here. So entire world has got 54 regions. In Russia region there is no data center at all, but in India, even though our is a very small country, we have three regions. There is two things behind it why there are three regions in India. One is America thinks that India is the safest place. There is no earthquake happens, there is no disaster happens, there is no floods happens. Okay, so that is why they have kept the data center three here. And we in India we use lot of IT is hub. India is a IT hub, right? And most of the big companies, big players are there in India. Okay, and if they want to have host their applications, okay, they have their data center in India. We can leverage these three data centers in India. That is the two reasons Microsoft has put three data centers in India. So now let us understand what will be the payment method in the cloud. So cloud will have two types of payment methods. The only one type, which is pay as you go, means if you use for 1 hour, you need to pay for 1 hour. If you use like 10 hours, you need to pay for 10 hours. Means how much ever you use, you have to pay for that. Like auto meter, if you go 10 kilometers, you have to pay for 10 kilometer. If you go 20 kilometer, you have to pay 20 kilometer, like that. Okay, and the billing will happen in Microsoft Azure. It is per minute, but in Azure, in AWS, it is pay per seconds. Say for example, per second it is 1 paisa, means in Microsoft it is like per minute billing, means if you use 1 minute 10 seconds, Microsoft will charge you for 2 minutes. Earlier, even my AWS also was like that, only per minute charge they were doing. But since Microsoft is improving their services and they are giving other benefits as well, they wanted to give the competition in terms of price, okay, competitive price. What happens? AWS has used their brain, and what they did pay per second. Imagine there are 1,000 servers, and each and every seconds cost 1 paisa. Okay, and 1,000 servers means 1,000 minutes, correct na? 1,000 minutes means in terms of Azure, all the if it is like 1 minute 10 seconds, they will calculate for 2 minutes, correct na? If it is 1 minute or 1.1 minute, they will charge for 2 minutes only, because in the Azure there is a pay per minute cost. If the clock crosses 1 minute 1 seconds also, they will consider it as a 2 minutes only. But in case of Azure, it is not like that. If it is 1 minute 1 second, AWS will charge you how much? One not one, sorry, 61 paisa. Okay, but Azure will charge you 120 paisa, because their per minute charge. Okay, that is the difference. Just to have the competitive price, they have come up with that one. Okay, and pay only for the amount you reutilize the resources. Means whatever, say for example, if you don't want a computer to be running after the off business hours, means your business will be ending by 7 o'clock in the evening, you can shut down the computer or the server, okay, to save the cost, the running cost after 7 p.m. today and the next day morning 9 a.m. till you start the virtual machine. Okay, so pay only for the amount that you use the resources, that's all. Okay, if you don't use, you shut down it. That is how. If you run 24 bar 7, you have to pay for 24/7 charge. If you use only for the certain number of hours, you have to charge only for the certain number of hours. Okay, that is about the payment method. We also have reservation. We also have savings plan. Multiple other things are also there. Savings mean reservation means you know that this particular application server is there for 5 years. It's a production server, and that production server will be there at least for 5 to 10 years, and you know. So what Microsoft will do? Microsoft will just a commitment from you. Like you have to tell to the Microsoft, hey Microsoft, I want to reserve this virtual machine for 3 years. So what they will do, they will give up to 60% of the reservation. If you go with 1 year reservation, they will give you 30% discount. If you go for 2 years reservation, they will give you 40% discount. If you go for 3 years of commitment, means you will tell Microsoft that I'm gonna use this computer for 3 years. So Microsoft will straight away with confidently they can buy dedicated server for you, or they can just reserve one particular server for you, because you are committing for 3 years. If you cancel, they will deduct some money. Okay, say for example, one server will cost you per month 1,000 rupees, and if you commit them, if you tell Microsoft, I'm going to use this server for 3 years and I want to do the reservation. What Microsoft will do, they will do the discounted price for it. Okay, since you are going for 3 years, I'm gonna give you up to 60% of the reserve discount in the cost. 60% means per month, if it is 1,000 rupees, 12 months it is 12,000 rupees. For 3 years it is 36,000 rupees. Correct? Now, out of 36,000, they will give you 60% of the discount. Means almost close to 2 lakh rupees. They are gonna 20,000 rupees. They are gonna reduce. Only 16,000 you are going to pay, because you are committed to Microsoft, stating that I will be consuming your service for the 3 years. Okay, and that can be paid in two types. One is you can do upfront payment, means all the whole 36,000 or 16,000 you can pay at one shot after the discount, or you can do month on month also. Means every month you are going to give the price 20,000 divided by 36 months, whatever amount comes you can pay. Okay, that is called as reservation. There you get discount from starting 30 to 60%, depend upon the size of the virtual machine, region of the virtual machine, and flavor of the operating system. Okay, it depends on that. Now, now you know the now you know about the basics of Azure, and the difference between Azure and AWS. And now you know about the regions, and there are three regions in India. And you know about the payment method, like pay as you go and the reservation, and pay per minute and pay per seconds. Correct? Huh? Now, since we are learning this course, you should understand the certification paths. There are multiple certifications involved in Azure. Okay, Azure has multiple certifications. AWS has got one. This is the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. Okay, AWS, you might have heard, they will tell I have to do the certification. That certification will AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. They will call it a CLF C01. But Azure has got multiple one. Okay, and AWS is little bit costlier. Microsoft has got cheaper. Okay, I'll tell you. See, these are all the basics. Couple of Azure certifications, and this certification is very important. If you just put the certifications, and if you are not certified, you just only done with the course, but you're not done with the certification, the chances of getting the calls are very less. What you have to do, you just have to complete the certification, online certification, once you are done with the class. Once you are done with the class, you have to do the certification. If you don't do the certification, you will get very less calls. But if you get the certification, you will be entitled to use these logos. Say for example, if you have done Azure Solution Architect, you can just put this logo on your resume. So out of there is a opening, and they have got around 20 resumes, and out of 20 resume, if you are certified, the solution architect certification if you have, the possibility of getting the calls is more. Means you will get the call for the first time. Okay, you can put the logo on the solution architect on your resume, so you'll get more calls. So there are multiple types of certifications. The basic one is fundamentals. We also call it as AZ900. Okay, that is a fundamental level of certification. Okay, the in the companies they will tell you you have to do at least one certification, that is called fundamentals. In the fundamentals you will not learn anything, you will only know what is virtual machine, what is VNet, what is resource group, how the connection between the on premises and the cloud is established. You will only learn that. Associate level means you know about the administration, how to deploy a virtual machine, how to create a storage account, how to configure the disaster recovery, okay, how to handle the load balancers, okay, these kind of stuffs you will do. And solution architect means you will also know how to do the solutioning. Say for example, a company comes and asks you, I want to build an application with high availability with the three-tier applications. Means the application should have high availability. That means the application should have the load balancer. So to have the high availability, the six digit of SLA, you should have load balancer and the virtual machine should be placed behind the each and every availability zones. So you build an load balancer. Behind the load balancer you are going to add three virtual machines, and each virtual machines will be kept in a different availability zone. Correct now. And they are telling the application should have a three tier one, means the connection between the database should be different, then the middleware component will be different. Like three servers are there, three components. One is database, another one is middleware, another one is application. Correct, huh? And here load balancer is there for high availability, and the high availability servers are placed in each different availability zones. So that solutioning will be done by the solution architect. So he will think each and every point, considering the application performance, considering the application availability, and also the cost. Correct, huh? These three things that solution architect should be aware of it. Okay, and the last one is Azure DevOps engineer. Means you also know Azure DevOps, right? AZ400. If you are interested in becoming a DevOps engineer, like how to create the CI/CD pipeline, how to deploy the virtual machine using the automation, maybe Ansible, not Ansible, yeah, Ansible also use, and ARM templates can be used, correct? Huh? So like that, multiple PowerShell also can be used. Like if you want to do CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration and continuous deployment, okay, all those stuff you can do the AWS, sorry, Azure DevOps engineering as well. So basically these are the logos actually, and you see here the same certification path. AZ900, you have to see AZ900 is mandatory. Once you have the AZ900 you can do 204. If you have 204 then you can write AZ400. If you directly write AZ400 it is not considerable. See, this AZ900 is optional, guys. Green is there, na? This is optional. This is a 204, 203, and 300, 300. Okay, this is mandatory. You cannot do AZ 400 without 204 and 203, and you cannot do Azure Solution Expert without AZ 301. Okay, either 300 or 301 should be there to become AZ 400, which is DevOps engineer. Okay, 305. This is 305. Okay, so this is the certification path. But what my recommendation is, you have to do either 203 or 204 just after you finish your course. Then you can become the Azure Microsoft Azure administrator. 204 is fine. Okay, you can do that. Any questions so far, guys? Only the basics today. Any questions? Are you guys able to hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us understand in each and every papers or paper code what that you are going to learn. See, 900 I will tell, I was telling, it only covers the basics of cloud. It is an optional certification, and the certification cost will be less. Around 6 7,000 will be there. Actual cost will be like 3 4 5,000 only, plus GST, everything is there. Okay. And AZ 400, you see, recommended to do the who already have done some knowledge. Means 204 will be done if you already have done some knowledge gathering, like you read about something, or you already have little bit hands on, or you know how the cloud works. Then it is 204 can be done. Okay, we call, once you certify this 204, we call you as a Microsoft certified Azure administrator, and the certification cost will be around close to $165 plus GST. Okay, this 203, if you're interested in a developer, okay, so who have little bit passion about the developing things, okay, who writes programming, coding, everything, he can do 213. Okay, and certification cost, the certification is same, $165 only. Okay, and 400 is a DevOps. Okay, if you are interested in a DevOps, maybe after 1 or 2 years, once you have the knowledge, once you have the work experience for 2 years, then probably you can for the AZ 400. It is not necessarily you have to wait for um, 3 to 4 years, but if you to understand the Azure solutioning, by looking at a solution, you should be able to understand, okay, what are all the components will be there and how they have been deployed. If you are able to understand that, then AZ 400 is easy. So AZ 400 is nothing but you will deploy the resources using the automation. That's all. Whatever you can do on the portal, that the same can be done on the uh, for automation as well. Okay, DevOps engineer will do the deployment via automation. Okay, and a developer, I mean the AZ200 for the administrator will do on the portal. That is the only thing. Okay, that's about this brief explanation about the certifications. Okay, and I told you 300 and 301 solution architect and associate one. Okay, the same thing, $165, $165, no much difference. Okay, and in this course what are we going to cover? Okay, I told you a lot of certifications here, correct now? So what I will do, I will consolidate some of the required elements, the components, and I'm going to teach you in this complete course. Okay, so we'll start from the concept of the cloud. What do you mean by cloud? What do you mean by public cloud? What do you mean by hybrid cloud? And what do you mean by community cloud? So community cloud is, as of now, it is not there. Previously it was there, but now it is only hybrid cloud. Means you have the data center at your office, and you also have the Azure or AWS or Google. So when you have your private cloud as well as public cloud, that is the combination of private and public. We call it as hybrid. Okay, and we will also do the Azure core services describe. I mean, we will describe what are all the core services in the Azure. Okay, we are going to cover, and how to do the solutioning, how to make sure each and every level security, and how the networking like NSGs, network security groups, firewall, okay, and how to do the firewalls inside the operating system, and what are level you can maintain the security in terms of Azure solutioning, okay, that one. And little bit on the identity governance, privacy and compliance, okay, and some policies also I'm gonna teach, and little bit on the cost management and service level agreement. What will be the cost management, like how the payment, like pay as you go, reservation, savings plan, and how can you check your month on month consumption in the Azure portal. Okay, if you want to see, say for example you are running a solution and you want to know the total cost you have spent for that particular service in the last 1 year, how to use this Azure cost management, and how can you raise the support requests in the Azure portal. I'm gonna cover that as well. And the hierarchy, what you mean by a tenant, how what you mean by subscription, and what is the hierarchy of the uh, Azure, I'm going to teach you about that. Along with that, RBAC, role-based access management. Okay, to do some activity, what level of access you should be having. So today you are going to create a subscription, correct? Huh? So anyway, from tomorrow we have to start the work, and you are going to create a subscription. And I'm gonna teach you how can you grant access to me in your subscription, correct? Now, how can you grant access to the subscription? Say for example, today I joined freshly to your organization. I'm a new engineer. Your manager will ask you, please provide him the Azure portal access. If I log into the Azure portal, I should be able to land into that particular subscription, right? I should not land into some other person's subscription. How can you grant access? Okay, what are all different level of access we have? Like we have billing administrator, we have contributors, lot many things are there. Okay, I'm gonna cover that. And then the storage account deployment and virtual machines deployment, and how to create the vnets, load balancer, traffic managers, SQL database instances, and backup and recovery, and Azure site recovery, and also how to deploy the solutions using Visio. Okay, if somebody asks you to deploy one diagram, the solution diagram using Visual Studio or Visio, then you should know how to use that tool. Okay, I'm gonna cover that as well. Okay, so all this is the combination of everything. See, you have SQL database and backup and so that is the past instances. Okay, backup and site recovery, that is a separate paper. I'm gonna cover that as well. Okay, so basically, if you work in an environment as a cloud engineer, or as a solution architect for cloud, you should be aware of these concepts. These are the components you should be at least knowing to work as a cloud engineer. And if you thoroughly know all these things, no, nobody will stop you. And you will be the master in the office. I'm telling you, because cloud is just evolving. Nobody knows completely. Even in the interviews, people don't know what question to ask. I'm telling you guys now. So maybe after 1 or 2 years, okay, now the rate of growth, the cloud technology is vast. Vast means it is vast. Okay, people are nobody is buying the physical servers. Nobody is having their own data centers. Everybody will move towards cloud nowadays. Okay, so then I would ask you to just give 20-25 days of time and thoroughly practice the day-to-day things. Okay, and what I will do, I normally don't just tell you the theoretical parts portion. I will make sure that you work and you practice it. Okay, so then only we'll get some idea. Okay, what comes where is the options, how to solve the things like that actually. Okay, so these are all the things I'm going to cover in this course. Okay, any questions so far, or do you have anything else? So you have any other technologies like you have no Kubernetes, you have containers. That is all comes under DevOps and the microservices actually. So I'm not going to cover them here. Okay, that is a different topic altogether. That is a different certification. CAS, Kubernetes as a service, container as a service. Okay, like that it will come. So that is a different papers, and that will be knowing by the DevOps engineer. Once you start becoming a DevOps engineer, then you can just start working on the Kubernetes containers, those stuff. Okay, then finally the overview of the Azure account. Okay, how do you create Azure account? See, Microsoft will give you 1 month of free trial account. Within that 1 month, they will give you 10,000 credits. I mean 10,000 worth of money they will give you. Okay, and you can use the 10,000 no, credits, points of credits. Maybe you can complete in 1 day, or you can even spend for 30 days. Even if you don't use after 1 month, after 30 days of time, that will get expired. So to acquire a free trial account, you should have an Outlook account or the Microsoft account. It can be anything. You can even use your Gmail as a Microsoft account, not a problem. So basically, you should have an Outlook, Hotmail, or a Microsoft account. Okay, and you should have a Microsoft Azure account. Means once you have the Microsoft account, you can create an Azure account. To create an Azure account, you need a credit card, or I think nowadays they even take the debit card as well. Okay, I've read actually, I've not never tried. They'll also accept the debit card. So and the PAN card. So you should have these four options. Once you have these four options, I mean four things with you, you can straight away go to portal.azure.com and then sign up. You can see here, you can see this Microsoft Azure account here, and you have option to create one. Click on the create one, and then you select the free trial account, and then portal. I mean, just you have to log in with the username and password. Okay, I think that's about the overall to begin with. So anybody has got account? Any of you have the information today, like credit card or debit card information, or you already have created the accounts? Nanda, have you created the account already?
Yes, sir.
Can you please share the screen?
Yeah, one second. I'm sharing the
Yeah.
screen.
Okay. You be ready by the time I want to show something to the everyone how to create since you already created. See, you have to. Can you see the screen now, guys? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you
Yes,
go
sir.
to portal.azure.com, okay, I am directly logging in here because I already logged in. Let me log out here. Okay. So if I logged out, so then if I put portal.azure.com, okay, here you have these options actually. Use another account. You can just put the contacts. Let me open in a incognito. Okay, if I put portal.azure.com, it will open in a incognito mode. Here you see no account. If you don't have account, it is asking you to create one. Click on create account. Once you click on the create account, it will ask you to enter your email ID. Say for example, in my case, if this is the case, okay, outlook.com. If you have created Outlook, just put outlook.com. See, it automatically manju underscore tg at the outlook.com. Say next. It's already there. If I mean, if you are freshly creating something, then it will. One second, guys. ಹಲೋ ಅಪ್ಪಿ ಹೇಳೋ. ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇದೈತಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಮಾನಿಟ್ರು, ಅದ್ರ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಒಂಥರ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ, ಅದು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ, ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಥರ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಪ್ಪುಗೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ ಕಣೋ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಈ ಡ್ರಾ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡು, ಡ್ರಾ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡು, ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ, ಸಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಿಮಿಷ. ಅಲ್ಲ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಬರೋ ಅಂತ ಅಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಅಪ್ಪಿ ತೋರ್ಸೋದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ತೋರಿಸು, ಇದನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆಗಡೆ ಇದು ಆನ್ ಮಾಡು, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಗ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೆತ್ತು, ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಎತ್ತು,
ಪೇಪರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎತ್ತು. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಐತಿ ಅದೇ.
ಅದೊಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಅದೊಂದು ಪೆನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡು, ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಪೆನ್ ತೋರಿಸು, ತೋರ್ಸು ಪೆನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಎರಡು ಎತ್ಕೊಂಬ.
ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಬಾಕ್ಸ್
ಓಕೆ
ಅಲ್ಲೇ
ಓಕೆ.
ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅದ್ರದ್ದು, ಓಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ತಗೊಂಬ, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಬೇಡಪ್ಪ, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕು. ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಸಾರಿ ಗೈಸ್, I forgot my what is that tablet. Okay, I asked my in-law to bring it. Okay, fine. So I'll take your screen actually, Nanda. 1 minute. Okay, I wanted to show.
Yeah, sure.
If you can stop sharing, 1 minute. Can you see my screen now? I think you are able to see my screen, right? Yeah. See, you have to go to this part one actually. You have to enter, not here. Here. If you just put your user ID, say for example at the outlook.com, and if you say next, it's already exists. No? 1 2 3 1 2. Say next. See here it is asking some password. You need to enter the password. Okay, once you enter the password, it will take you to the portal where you need to key in your credit card information and PAN card information, and then it will just create a free trial account. Okay, that is how we need to create. If you guys already have an account, I will help you to create now. And don't worry, your money will not be getting deducted. They will just deduct 1 rupee just to check the payment channel, whether the payment channel, once you convert that free trial account to pay as you go account, they should be able to deduct the money. Na? That is why they will make sure the channel is intact, but nothing will be deducted. Money will not be deducted. Okay. Nanda, thank you. You please share your screen now. Yeah. So now he has created an account. Okay. Now just click on the virtual machine, Nanda. Or okay, do one thing, go to subscription on the top. Just type subscription in the search bar. Search is done. That is see, this is global search. Subscription. You have subscription now. Click on the subscription. Yeah, click on the subscription. Yes. See now Nanda has got the free trial account created. You use the credit card or debit card, Nanda?
I have used the credit card.
You use credit when you created this account.
It's my new account actually created last night.
Last date only. Okay, because the current cost is zero. Okay, click on that
Yeah.
free trial option. First one, that hyperlink is there. Na? Subscription names free trial. Yeah, click on that. Maybe here you see how much money you left out, that information. Okay, see current billing is this one, and INR currency, correct? Na? See, you created on 12, 18, 20, 20, last night you created, and just scroll little down, and it's a free credit expires in 28 days. Right side, not the left side. Yeah, there. Just go down, go down. Yeah, nothing. Okay. See, fine. He has created the account freshly. Okay. I will ask him to grant access to me. Okay. I don't have account, right? And I want to have an account now. Nanda, can you go to the subscription again? Just go little two steps back. Cancel this one. Into close cross this actually. Yeah. Go to subscription. No, no. One step back. One step back. Next to home, you have the subscription. Click on that on the top. Just below the Microsoft, you have the click there. Yes. Go to subscription again. Click on subscription. Yes. Yeah. Select the subscription again now. One more time. The free trial subscription you select. Yeah. See, once you select the free trial of subscription, just below the overview, you have activity log. And below that, you have access control, identity and access management. Correct, na, Nanda? Third option. Yes. Yep. Correct. Click on that. See, this is where you can grant access to me as well. Okay. Now do one thing. Click on the add on the top. Now I want you to give me access. Click on that add role assignment. Yep. So you can just add member. Click on members. You can just do one thing. Click on role. Yeah, click on role. Yeah, add contributor. See, these are all the multiple roles are there. You give me contributor. Say search contributor there on the search bar. Yeah, contributor. CONTRI contributor. BUTR. Okay. Scroll little down and see if contributor subscription contributor. Go down little bit. So many are there. Go down. Go down. Go down. CDN. Okay. Just go to the then go to the members. Then just go on the top. Members. Yes. Here add. Select members. Select member. Plus, yeah. Give me ID Manju underscore TG. Manju underscore TG. Yeah. At the rate hotmail.com. Hotmail.com. Add. Select. But what role it is asking? It is not asking any role. Actually, you have to select the role first, Nanda. uh, next. Say next. Say next. We'll see what it will happen. Select next. Role is none. Correct. Now go back to the role one now. On the top, you have click on role. Yes. Here you have to select the contributor. Okay. Um, CONTRABUTOR. See where Azure subscription contributor something is there. Huh? Not subscription. Subscription contributor you go search on the top. Privilege correct. Privilege. Yes, you are right. Now you type it is their contributor. Select that. Yeah. Now review and assign. Now you need to correct. Now say next. Assign. Assign. See now you are going to add. Now you have granted access to me for your account. Okay. Now I will get an email. Okay. Let me log into my Hotmail account. Manju underscore TG at the red hotmail.com. I am trying to log into my account. Nanda, I'll take your screen now. I have logged in and I'll show you how to. I'll take my screen. You can stop sharing. So from tomorrow onwards, you will not have this kind of theory. Okay, everything is practicals only. Almost everything is practicals. Microsoft Web default directory. Yes. See 9:57. I have got an email. Okay, from Nanda. If you see Microsoft invitation on behalf of default directory invites you. Okay. Uh, See now accept the invitation. Can you guys see my screen? Can somebody please confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yes, Manju.
Yeah. Accept the invitation. Once you accept the invitation, I will be asked to see. I will be asked to get the permission requested by Manju underscore TG to the default directory nanda33 at gmail.com on microsoft.com. Yes, I want to accept it. Now I have to I will get the login to the Nanda subscription. See, see I am into the subscription. Now if I put subscription, if I select the subscription, see 15,800 is a credit. They have increased. Earlier they were giving only 10,000 credit, but now they are increased to 15,800 credits. Okay. See, I have 15,800 credits worth 28 days of time. That is why we have to close the Microsoft Azure batch within 22 days max. Okay. And remaining 7 8 days can be used for the practices. Now the same account subscription ID, if you see Nanda, you will have the same in your machine also. If you look at the subscription ID, it will be like this only B48E6C. This is the one. Okay, you can check if you want. So now I have the access to the subscription. So let me give the background of the subscription. Okay, see, once you log into the Azure subscription, this is the first. You have the search bar. Okay, we call this search bar as the global search. If you don't know anything means you just come and check here. See, for example, if you want to know the disk, just type disk. See, you get all the disks here. If the disks are there, it will just disk is there means it will just no list out all the disks here. Okay, and load balancer. See, load balancer. If you want to see, just type load. Get the load balancers. See, here the load balancer and Active Directory. If you want to see Azure Active Directory, if you want to see Microsoft Intra AD or Azure Active Directory. Azure Active. No, this is the same thing. Our service principal application registration. Okay. Uh, App registration. See, app registration. If you go, you directly go to the service principals. Like that, you can just search whatever you wanted to. Or if you want to see everything, now just come here, click on this come three ellipse option here. Click on this three dots or lines, and you see all services. If you click all services, whatever service that you have been already deployed in this portal, you will be having it here. Everything will be listed here. See everything, all the damn services you have, everything and anything, everything is here. See, so now our thing is to deploy virtual machine. I will not take much time. I will only show you within quick 1 minute of time. Okay, how easy cloud I will tell you. Okay, now if you go to the say for example, now you go virtual machine here, or you can type virtual machine here, virtual machine. See, virtual machine came. Okay, so you have a create option. Create which one you want. You want Azure virtual machine. Okay, yes, I want to create a Azure virtual machine. See how easy build a virtual machine in the cloud. I'll show you. I'll see create virtual machine wizard came, and you need to select the subscription. My subscription is a free trial subscription. Okay, and resource group is there. I'll explain you tomorrow what is resource group and all. But resource group is a thing, but it is the resource. It will have all the resources in it. Okay, it's like a folder in the cloud. If you put all the resources in the resource group, every resources will be there inside the resource group. I don't have any resource group as of now. See, I don't have anything. I can create a new one. I will do RG01, resource group 01. This is the naming convention. See, inside that free trial subscription, I have created a resource group called RG01, and I'm gonna create a virtual machine name called VM01. See, VM01. And which region you wanted? I told you 54 regions is there, correct? Now, see, Canada, Central, France, Norway, Switzerland, okay, Japan, Central India, West Europe, UK, North Europe, okay. If you want to put it in India, okay, Central India, I will select. See, not all the regions will be available in the free trial subscription. Only couple of regions will be there in the free sub. Not all the 54 regions will be available in the free trial subscription. Okay. See, now I'm putting this region as India. If you select this availability option, I told now availability option. See, you have availability zone, availability scale set, virtual machine scale set, and availability set. If you select availability zone, then see you get options like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. I told you, na, if you consider Bangalore as a region and if you select availability zone, you have three options. Where you want to keep the virtual machine, you want to keep it in zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. If you are creating three virtual machine, you can keep VM01 in zone 1, VM02 in zone 2, VM03 in zone 3. Correct? That is how you have to do the things. Now in my case, I will not select anything. No, I will say no infrastructure redundancy. Okay. So I will say no infrastructure redundancy, then I don't need to select anything. Security type, you can just go with a standard one, not a problem. And image, what operating system you wanted to create? You wanted to create a Red Hat, Ubuntu, Linux, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in my case, I want to deploy one Windows Server 2022 operating system. Okay, so data center edition, I'll select data center. It is not supported here. Okay, let me go with Windows 2016 only. Yep, Windows 2016 I'm selecting, and whether you want a 64-bit or what kind of one, I want to go with 64-bit only. Okay, and size means the configuration, how much capacity you wanted. See, size is nothing but select a VM size to support the workload that you want to run. The size that you choose and then determine factors such as processing power, memory, storage, capacity, etc., etc. Okay, see here, since I'm using a free trial subscription, I'm not getting all the required sizes here. Say for example, in my case, I want to use 4 CPU and 16 GB memory, and you see this will cost you 22,588 rupees per month. Okay, since I'm using free trial subscription, I don't want to use this much bigger virtual machine. I will just use with 2 CPU and 16 GB memory, 13,000. I told you, if you want to buy a server, it will cost you minimum 10 lakh rupees, and you don't know whether your startup will run for 1 year or 2 year. If you invest 1 server 10 lakh rupees, it's a huge loss. But here, even if you pay 13,000 per month, if you reserve this for 1 year, this will become around 6 7,000 rupees. Per year, you will end up paying only 70,000 rupees. Then you know whether the business is working perfectly fine or you want to close the business. You can take the decision accordingly, right? So let me select this one, 2 CPU, 16 GB memory. Let me select this one, and username you have to give. You can give username like local administrator. Okay, password can be password at the rate 123 password at the rate 123. Okay, see, you have to administrator cannot be used because administrator account is dedicatedly kept for the cloud engineers there who's there in the Microsoft. They will reserve that administrator account. See, if you put administrator, if I just remove local and if you put administrator, see, it will tell username must not include the reserved words. This word called administrator is reserved for the Microsoft. That is why you should never use administrator. You should use local administrator. See, local administrator, and the password is taken. You want to public inbound ports? No, you can allow. If you want RDP can be allowed, yes. And say now it is asking the disks. How many disks you wanted? You want to have the OS disk for 127 GB or whatever GB you wanted, you can select how much ever GB, like 128 GB, 250 GB, whatever you want, you can put it. Okay. And data disk, if you want, just click on this add disk and add the data disk, not a problem. And networking, which IP address, which subnet you want to create, okay, you can just do. And if you want public IP, you need because to access the server because the server is there in central India. I don't know, maybe in Chennai or somewhere. This data center is there, and I'm gonna select this region, correct? Now, so I want to have a public IP, otherwise I will not be able to access the server. Okay, so network interface card, this is fine. 3389 is fine. Say next, next, and finish. I don't do anything. Okay, say everything I will explain you tomorrow, but today how quickly I can create a virtual machine I'm gonna show you. Okay, because this creation of a virtual machine itself is a 1 day exercise. I will explain each and every tabs and each and every required information. Okay, I will give you. See, now it is 17 rupees per hour, guys. It is not 17,000. Sorry, I have read wrongly. This is 17 rupees per hour. If you use this machine for 1 hour, you are only paying 17 rupees and create new. See, now I have clicked on create virtual machine. See, it is initialized the virtual machine deployment. See, initializing the template deployment to resource group RG01. So inside the RG01, I am going to create a virtual machine called VM01 with 2 CPU and 4 GB memory, 3.5 GB memory. Okay. See, it is deployed, starting. See, virtual machine VM network it is creating, a network security groups is creating, and the public IP it is getting created. It won't take more than 1 minute. Less than a minute, your virtual machine will be ready, and you will be able to log into the computer very quickly. See, VM is building, created, and VM is now building. Cloud is very easy, guys. I'm telling you. You don't need to know rocket science. Cloud is very, especially Azure, na? It is very easy. But the continuous practice should be required. At least for 15-20 days, you should practice. See, the deployment is succeeded now. If I click on go to resources, I will be taken to the VM01. See, VM01, my virtual machine is ready. See, and if you see, the resource group is RG01, computer status is running, and see, operating system is Windows. What is the size? E2S V3 means 2 CPU, 16 GB memory. Public IP is this one. See, public IP is this one. Now we want to connect this computer. This computer is not here, na? It is somewhere in the South India. What you have to do? Just go to run, type mstsc, or you can type remote remote desktop connection. Click on this remote desktop connection. Put the IP address here. See 4.240.8.115. ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಹೋಗು. See username local administrator PASSWORD @123. I'm entering the username and password and I'm telling OK. Now see, I am able to log into this computer which I just created in the central India. See, I'm able to log in. How easy it is, correct, na? And you can deploy whatever applications you wanted, whatever administrative things you want to perform, you can definitely do it here. Okay, so this is how we will create a virtual machine in the cloud. The cloud is means you have everything in the fingertips. You can do anything and everything, guys. Correct, na? So that is about the starting day of the classes actually. Okay, and you have another option to connect. Okay, let me log off. You have to just log off. Log off. Okay. Now we have an option here connect. Click on connect via click on connect and the RDP file will be downloaded. Okay. See download RDP file. It got selected. Double click on this one. See it will automatically connect it. See password @123. See the same computer logged in again. PASSWORD @123. See I'm able to log into the VM. How easy cloud is. See this is what Azure is all about, guys. Is it clear? Any questions, confusions? Is it easy, difficult?